Hey, what's up? I've got a story to start this off. I think it was about 10 years ago. I have it sitting right here. I bought a Zoom H2N. Just wanted to get into field recording. I've been using it recently just to record some voice notes. And it kind of got me thinking about this. Whenever I bought it, I had an idea of what I wanted. I set out. I was getting into ambient music, and I was specifically looking for some water sounds, some bird sounds, and I had some other ideas of what I wanted. So I put in a lot of work. Went all over Colorado, just going out to get my sounds. And I went through a lot of frustration. I was learning. I didn't quite perceive how a microphone heard things yet. So it was always a surprise to me whenever I listened back. And I was pretty disappointed in water recordings in parks. I would hear people in the background, or bird recordings out somewhere. There'd be a river in the background, and it completely went against what my expectations were for the recordings. I had a clear idea what I wanted, and so I spent a lot of time trying to fix those recordings, like cutting all the low end out to try to get the river sound out, and just trying to mangle the recordings to try to make them sound the way that I wanted. And I ended up deleting most of the recordings I took back in those days. I still have some recordings that I kept, and those recordings are good. I go back to them. I've used them in plenty of projects. They sound like what my environment sounded like at the time. There's a nostalgic property to them, and they're usable. So the reason I couldn't see that at the time was because of my expectations. It was because I had a clear idea of what I wanted, and that idea didn't include the human nature of life, like people in the park, like what it actually sounded like. So I learned a lot through that. That really taught me how to listen like a microphone. But it taught me more than that throughout the course of my career and my life as an artist. Those expectations, they show up just all over art, all over creating things, getting a guitar tone or anything. We have expectations of what a professional tone sounds like. If we're making a certain genre of music, we have an idea of expectations of what that is supposed to sound like. So, we're always looking at things with these expectations. And what's interesting is time has a way of really removing those expectations. And so when you're able to look back on things after the fact, you tend to see, something that you thought wasn't that great actually sounds pretty good. And that's where the nostalgia comes in too. Like a raw emotional vocal take. At the time, it's hard to accept. It's easy to perceive the human things in a recording as mistakes. And a lot of times that's what makes them good. And I don't know why our brains do that, but they do. And it has to do with expectations, because once you have the time and you have removed those expectations, you can clearly see. And over time of seeing that, I have started to learn to make an attempt to approach things with a more acceptance mindset. Whenever you approach something with the mindset of already accepting, it's going to be what it's going to be. whenever you're making a sound, you're hearing exactly that sound. You're not hearing what it's not. You're not trying to make it to something. And it's a lot more fun, for one. Things tend to be more unique, and things tend to fight against you less when you just accept things for what they are. And this, it goes for life too. And your art, it's a direct reflection of yourself. You're putting your time, your energy, it's what you like, it's you, it's what you're doing. And whenever you accept your art, when you're just looking at your creation and your creativity with the mindset of just accepting it for what it is, you're fully accepting yourself for who you are. And that has more benefit than just smooth creativity and great art. That's where a lot of the benefits of being creative come in. You start to build self-confidence, and it does get easier once you're confident. It's easier to accept your art, but it goes beyond art. Getting those creative outlets, that's one of the main areas that you come away from that feeling like a more confident person. We need that, so that's really all. That's all. I mean, that's all I wanted to talk about. I just want to spread a message that accept yourself, accept your art. Let everyone else judge. But when you're creating, just create. Just let it be what it is. And do your best to do that with life too. Yeah, that's all I got. I've been trying to film this video for a little while. It's been difficult. I've done probably like 5 or 6 little test recordings on the Zoom H2n. Actually, that's why I started thinking about this, as I said. So yeah, I hope that all makes sense, and that's all I got this time. So peace.